critical issue we definitely need to look at is the adequate internal controls and risk management systems, especially when it comes to ambiguity of finances transferred through eCitizen. Because looking at previous financial years, the Auditor General has actually reported inconsistencies between amounts reported to have been transferred on eCitizen and amounts received by state agencies. Case in point, NTSA in the year June 2020, that ended June 2020, eCitizen indicated they transferred 1.1 billion. NTSA records, according to the Auditor General, they received 1 billion. So a difference of 28 million. So it's proper to know those risk management systems should be in place.
You need to know what the law says about that. Any public officer, I think that should be 227 or something like that. You can check on the Constitution. Any public officer who actually pilferages money that way, they say it is 2 trillion, but in the actual sense, it was 4 trillion that was collected. Any public officer who does that, and this is in the range of the control of budget, treasury officials and all that, can be compelled to pay even after he has left office. I'll get to the section, I'll read for you before we leave here. So there is always a buffer that you cannot just walk into public office and do what you want to do. We can observe what you are doing now, but the moment another regime comes to power, they will, without harassing you, go through the court, go through the legal process to actually tell you you've got to pay if you sanctioned a payment which was actually fake, which wasn't there, or more than the amount that actually was required to be transferred. No. That is there in the Constitution, yes.
Now, the beauty of the e-system that some people don't want to use the e-citizen is now you have that audit trail. The moment you execute a transaction on your mobile phone to any government office, there's a very solid audit trail. So anybody who has compromised that money, as Nyariba has indicated, should be behind bars. Okay. And that is a basic forensic accounting. I mean, a student who's just started doing accounting can pick up that. Now, the germane question is, having realized that there's a discrepancy between the funds collected, is there somebody behind bars? That is the elephant in the room. Is there somebody behind bars? Yeah. Is there a penalty for somebody going with Mura's resources? Because if there's no penalty, you cannot blame the system. The system has already told you Mura's resources have been stolen. Okay. And there's nobody standing time.
Jesse, that's why we are saying here the system is the government. Let State House and Executive, Parliament and Judiciary appreciate that people who go into those offices are powerful. They are considered by masses as if they are the system themselves. Okay. So that they don't really care what the system says, what the system is, and what the law says. They care about what has been spoken from the higher office. And that's where we are going wrong. Because if we all went behind the systems, we will make money, the country will be rich. I mean, there will be no need for somebody to say there's corruption, because we are all going behind the system. We will be dealing with only one thing: system analysis and who is responsible for, as he says, pilfering this or that kind of money. So the problem with us is we still have to chest thump. We are still in that archaic period where somebody has to say, Mimi ndio kusema, we have to do this. That is actually really primitive. If we all went behind the system and say, we all must go behind the system, this country will be a great country.
Actually, with the e-system, you can point who has misappropriated resources. So the question I'm asking Nyaribo, because he's a lawyer and he has quoted the relevant acts, how come these guys are not behind bars?
That's what I'm telling you.
Let's not blame the system.
Actually, there's somebody who has come and said, I was told to withdraw this money. On national television, we can go back on the clips. He says, I was told I must withdraw this money. So now you keep wondering, who told you? I was told by the biggest man in the country, the CEO of the nation. So you arrest this person. That's what I'm trying to tell you. We are still a growing economy. We must appreciate that we all, from State House to the poor boy and girl in the street, we must accept to go behind the system for the good of the country. But if we are saying, no, I am beyond the law, I am the one to say this, then that's why we'll have poverty in the country and our economy will never grow like the other economies. Yes.